Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Setback Strategist Network. I'm so excited. We're almost here for a weekend. It's Thursday night, and I'm just so excited because not only is it almost a weekend, but we get a chance to almost go into the weekend with a very special guest tonight. It was a guest actually that I came across on social media. And so I'm very excited to have her on tonight. She's going to be talking about her journey and some of the things that she's doing. And so I'm just so excited and definitely look forward to you all just connecting with her. And so I'm very excited. Her name is Rosalyn L. Uh, Farmer. And she's a publicist. She wears a lot of hats in the industry, and I got to connect with her on Instagram, and so she has a very exciting story. I got a chance to look at her website. She's doing some great things. She has a radio show that she does. So she does a lot more on the interviewing side than actually being interviewed. So I'm just excited tonight to be able to give her a treat to be interviewed. Okay, so just give us 1 second. We're waiting on her to come in the studio. Okay, and there she is. There she is, the guest of the night. Rosen, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm definitely doing wonderful. We are definitely glad to have you on the Setback Strategist Network. So we wanna welcome you.
Awesome. I feel great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. So I know you're doing a lot of stuff. I know you're a publicist, you're a radio host. You've been in this industry for a while now. I got a chance to see I got a chance to see your website. Off the air, you were telling me a few things about some of the things you do. You're a motivational speaker. So I'm just excited tonight for you to be able to let people know some of the great wonderful things you're doing because you just never know who's watching. It may be someone out there that needs a publicist. It may be someone out there that wants to book you for a speaking engagement. You just never know. So why don't you just kind of start off by just telling us a little bit about your journey? I mean, how did you get from being from where you were to being a publicist and a motivational speaker? Can we start off hearing about your journey and your testimony?
Oh, God is good, first and foremost. Thank you for having me. My journey started in the Bronx. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York area. Born and raised in the projects, the only young lady out of 5 boys. So you can imagine how my upbringing was. Pretty much a tomboy. Loved to stay to myself. I was very much under my brothers growing up. They were my biggest influence, over my whole entire life. They were everything to me. When a lot of my girlfriends wanted to hang and party and, do things, just in regards to the being in the inner city, I wanted to be home. I was pretty much of a homebody. Really much to myself. I love to read. I still do. And I just pretty much just started just loving the fun of just learning and researching and doing things like that. So that's pretty much how everything began. It's just enjoying to learn and research and of course to talk and just to network with people. So, but yeah.
So let me ask you this. I see now you're not in New York anymore.
I'm always home though.
Yeah. How did you? I mean, as far as how long ago did you leave New York?
I say about 10 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. I wanted to find my own way. Like I said, I was the only girl out of 5 boys, and I was very sheltered. Very sheltered. And, coming from the projects, my brothers, they knew the streets, but they kept me from that. You know, when you saw my mom, you saw me. I was my mother's shadow. So, yeah, when I got to a certain age, I just wanted to just branch out and have my own voice. I just wanted to know who Rosalind was. I wanted to learn me, not what my mom or my brothers or my father wanted me to be. I wanted to know who I was. So I left, yeah, about 10 years ago, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, I know you said you grew up in New York and everything. So, what got you into becoming a publicist? How did all that get started?
Um, well, actually, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Really?
Crazy, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
wanted to be a lawyer. I went to school for law, and that was, what I wanted. I wanted to be a lawyer. My older brother was a minister, so I started doing a lot of secretarial work for him in his church in Newark. He had a church in Newark, New Jersey, very small congregation, and my mom was an evangelist, and my aunt was an evangelist. So I came up in that whole entire setting of church. So I knew a lot about, organizing events and, different things that the church would have. I knew how to, organize my brother's schedule. Even though he had a secretary that did a lot, if she couldn't do certain things, he knew that I had his back. So I learned from there. And I guess I started about 17, 18 years old. So like I said, I was pretty much sheltered. So I was mainly in the church a lot, from the church to home. So partying had its time. I had to kind of sneak that in a little bit.
Okay, so
Probably.
you worked in the church for a while.
Hmm.
So you worked in the church for a while, and after you doing that, I mean, I know you said you thought about being a lawyer.
Hmm.
Where did the opportunity for being a publicist or getting into the speaking or even radio industry? How did you go from the church to think about being a lawyer to this industry?
It was all around me. Like I said, dealing with administrative work was something I always did through the ministry. My brother also was on radio through his church and through his pastor, who he was under his leadership at one point, and he branched out from his pastor and got his own church. So watching my brother deal in radio, I believe the station was WWRL, which is a station in New York, back in the late 80s and 90s. And, I remember my brother used to come home late night from the radio broadcast, and hearing him live and hearing how he spoke to people and gave people such good word and encouragement. I found a passion with that. But at the same time, I wanted to be a lawyer. And like I said, as I went through high school into college, I did manage to get my degree and things like that. But I just wasn't satisfied. I just felt like it was mechanics. I didn't have that passion for it. I enjoyed writing. I enjoyed speaking and standing in front of people. I enjoyed organizing things. I enjoyed putting things together, but looking up cases, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It just wasn't what I want. Eventually everything just came together for me.
Well, it's really good you say that about purpose, because you have so many people out there that are out of their purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
majority of the world is doing something that they don't like to do. They're not doing something that they truly love. And
Yeah.
it's really good that you were able to have the courage and really made that decision to step out of that and to get into something that you truly love and that you truly enjoy. So I definitely give you kudos for doing that. And I
Yes.
know that people who are hearing that should be a lot of encouragement, because there are a lot of people out there that I run into every day who didn't have the courage that you had to be able to step out on faith and also be able to do something that you truly love to do. So I definitely that's really good that you did that. What I was going to ask you, so I'm really curious. So you say you're a motivational speaker. What are some of the things that you speak about? What are some topics that you typically like to speak on?
Empowerment, the true meaning of empowerment. I just did an article recently on empowerment. It took me almost a month and a half to put it together so that I didn't leave anything out. Sometimes it'll take me maybe 3 weeks to really brainstorm a good article. when I have the time, because I do love to write. I love poetry. I love to write. That's been something I've always had a passion for. I remember when I was young, I wanted to be an MC at one point, but that's another topic. But shh, don't tell nobody. But I wanted to be an MC, but I had a passion for writing. I've always had a passion for writing. And empowerment was something that I really wanted to explain. I wanted to really break down the elements of it, because everybody's just so amped up about this whole empowerment movement, but they don't really have the understanding there's more than just saying, it's about doing. And you make a lot of sacrifices. Sometimes you're going to have to stand alone. You're going to be judged. You're going to be criticized. And sometimes it's not even going to make sense to yourself when you have to reach so deep into yourself to give to others, and sometimes you may not get the same thing as far as, support in return. Are you still willing to empower? People look at empowerment as just getting, but sometimes you have to be selfless, not so much giving and expecting in return. So I really wanted to touch on that. So that's just, some of the topics that I touch on when I do articles, and writing and speak to people. I try to touch on stuff that can change lives, that can build leaderships within the home with male and female partners, because there's a lot of single, family homes right now. And when I was coming up, I had my mom and my dad, so it was a little different. So I just try to focus on topics that make sense, that can help a person in any, aspect of life, whether they are an entrepreneur, a stay-at-home mom, a person just getting out of being incarcerated for a long period of time, a person who's coming, getting delivered from a drug addiction. I just try to give good, sound advice, and not be judgmental. People are going through and they don't need someone to remind them that they failed, and that's like one of the most difficult thing to do, is to face your reality that you failed. But the thing about it is, what do you do next after you didn't fail? You just keep beating up on yourself? No. So, I like to touch on topics that can empower people to really get off the ground, stand on their feet, and get themselves, back in the game.
Wow, you definitely doing so. What is a typical day like for you in business? I mean, I know we were talking about this before.
Yeah.
I know you wear a lot of hats, so tell us about a typical day for you. I mean, first wake up in the morning.
For one, I'm a mom. For one, I am a mom. So my son he's 5. He's very active. He's very active, and being mom is mainly my number one focus. Being a mom, and that's my main priority is being a good mom, a good example to him, and definitely, just working, networking, trying to do as much as I can, but I definitely try not to sell myself short, because every opportunity is not a good opportunity. I don't try to just jump on the first train smoking, excuse me. I try to make sure that whatever I get, connect with, whatever I do as far as projects, I know that I can live with it, I try to make sure that it's something that I can look back on and I feel like, why did I do that? Like, it didn't do any good. It wasn't any good for me. It didn't represent anything that I stand for. So, yeah, that's my journey day to day, is making sure that whatever I do as far as connecting with people, that it speaks, in a positive light about who I am and what I represent.
So, what are some challenges for you in business? What are some challenges? I know the other day I believe we were talking about having a corporate America job, and also being an entrepreneur, because we know when we first start off running our own business, we're working a job, we're trying to fund the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta come home and then put your CEO hat on.
Challenges for me, well, like I said, my backstory basically says it all. I said I came from the projects, and I had a lot and saw a lot. My oldest brother was shot by NYPD when I was a very young girl, and I watched my mom hold it down. My mother and father were going through some issues within their relationship, and one of my other brothers was incarcerated at the time. And from that experience, and I think my grandfather was ill at the time, And I think from that experience, I was young, but I watched my mom work, go to church, have faith, and I never saw her grumble. She whatever she did it to the best of her ability. And even I carry that with me, especially when I network and I work every day. So when I go through obstacles and I go through situations, I just focus on the fact that I have to keep a clear head, and I know that nothing lasts as always, and that I'm going to get through it. May not seem like I'm gonna get through it because I'm in it, and it seems like it takes forever. It's going to take forever, but eventually, if I just stay focused, I'll get through whatever it is, and I'm gonna, have to face. I'm gonna get through it. So that's how I handle, tough situations in my life. I know that it's not going to last forever.
Okay. So, what do you have any upcoming projects that you're working on currently right now, or
Do
any
I?
projects that you're thinking about?
Oh
Um,
man, do I? Between working with a fabulous radio station, Hotline Radio, shout out to the whole staff. Um, I don't know. Between that and working with some other clients that I have, DJ Boss Hog here out in South Carolina, and working with a great magazine company, I love the God in you.com, with High Fresh Magazine, just different people that I've been networking with within the last year or two. They keep me on my toes. They definitely keep me on my toes. So I've been blessed. Projects is pretty much just going to events, networking, working with other publicists, working with different managements, different labels, and things like that. So just I'm still up and coming. I've been in the game 7, 8 years doing public relations work, but I've been in radio for about 4 to 5 years. So I'm still growing. I'm not at a level where I can actually tell anybody that I know everything. I'm always open to learning and growing. So my whole story really has just begun. It's really just begun. I got a lot in store for the world.
okay. So, if there's someone out there looking to, bring you in, as a speaker for as an event, at an event or at a workshop or anything like that, how can they get a hold of you? I know, I put your link on there, but why don't you just tell them some different ways to get a hold of you?
Well, you definitely can reach out to me on Twitter. I'm a Twitter girl. You can reach me at Twitter at Miss Rosalyn PR. That's MS Rosalyn Rosalyn PR. All one word, Miss Rosalyn PR. On Instagram, Miss Rosalyn L. And my email address is rlpromotions with an S at the end, 225@gmail.com. So you'll definitely reach out to me through any of those, links that's on the websites as well.
So let me ask you this. There is there's a person out there right now who maybe a little bit similar situation as yourself early on.
Yeah.
They're thinking about maybe pursuing something in school, but that's not what their heart is.
Hmm.
What advice would you give someone who's maybe in a similar situation that you were in? When you were in college and you were thinking about becoming a lawyer, but then again, your heart wasn't there. What advice would you give someone in that similar situation?
Go with your gut. Go with your gut. If you're doing something and you're not happy with it, don't fake it. Don't fake it. The worst thing you could ever do to yourself is live a life without purpose. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself, is to just be just living and just existing. What's that? It's nothing. You want to be able to leave a legacy behind. You want to be able to at least look back and have a story to tell someone at an older age that I've done some of the things I wanted to do. Maybe not all. At least you can have a story to say that my life was worth living. I've done some things that I'm proud of. I'm happy. I've accomplished. I made myself happy, because we always want to impress and make people happy and do for others, but don't forget yourself. So if you really have a passion for writing or music, no matter what anybody has to say, you have to respect corrective criticism, and people are going to judge and have their opinions, and they definitely are entitled to it, but don't allow the negative, press that you might get from others to discourage your movement. A lot of times we don't want no one to tell us anything negative, but not realizing that that negativity should be able to fuel you and help you to be more creative and better. So I love when a person tell me I can't do it, because I'm going to prove you wrong. I love when a person tells me that I'm not going to be a success story or that I'm not someone special. That helps me to, just keep it moving. So definitely, whatever you want to do in life, definitely just do what makes you happy. I would never want anyone to live and just be existing. Be happy at what you do. Be content with yourself.
Well, Ms. Roslyn, great message to end this with. And again, I want to definitely thank you for being a guest and allowing us the time to interview you and hear your story and your journey.
You are so welcome.
Your business and everything like that. So definitely thank you for that. And much success to you in everything you're doing with your magazine and your projects and everything like that. I'm definitely going to continue to keep my eye on you on social media.
We have to stay connected. You definitely have to.
No, you definitely stay connected. So I definitely want to thank you again for being on there, and I want to thank our guests. Our audience for tuning in, and people who will tune in later. We thank you again for another episode of the Setback Strategist Network, and we're getting ready to sign off.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's been a great experience. Thank you, and I hope to continue to network with you again in the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.